Happy Monday, everybody. Motivation, as the general perception goes, is something which is we have intrinsic within us, within ourselves. And it is a widespread notion that to get a motivation in life, you would have to have an intrinsic reasoning and why, and which is correct. I do not deny to an extent, but to your surprise, what plays an important role here is that what I have seen personally, observed and learned from the decade of my learning of personal development journey is that all your intrinsic motivation is directly linked to external reasons and factors and people around you. And this is what always motivates us to do the things. Essentially, these extrinsic reasons are the extrinsic motivators what people usually have. And this is what any successful entrepreneur should keep in his mind. Because if he has to develop a team, it's a great knowledge base to understand what will motivate your team and your employees, and as a byproduct for the betterment of your company. So, the number one extrinsic motivator which influences each one of us, whether it's an achiever, a leader, an entrepreneur, or at the individual level, is the recognition by your peers. There was a study which was done on the soldiers of a defense services, and why do the soldiers go and fight for in the war? Was it for a cause, or was it for the patriotism, or was it for the fear that if you don't do it, you will be court martialed? But what happens to be the number one reason when this research was finally done on across multiple channels and multiple global studies that the soldiers they are doing it in recognition to their peers and to the colleagues and to the others brothers who are fighting with them. So their motivation was their peers. They are doing it just for getting the recognition by their co-soldiers, by their brothers who are fighting in the same battle that happens to be the biggest motivator for them. Number two motivator, which plays equally important role, is the recognition from your authorities and your mentors. All of us, we have mentors and authorities at some stage of our life as we are passing through the life at different ages. I personally had that motivation in the beginning of my life, could be till 25 years, to get the recognition from my parents that I'm doing the best and all my achievements and all my success endeavors were all around this recognition, how to impress my parents. That goes on, and there are changes across the stage of your life. And your next level motivational trigger, I would say, could be your mentor, whom you are following and whom you are learning from, and that becomes your motivation. So, the second motivator is the parents or any authorities, whatever you have in your life, who have taken care of you in your life. So, that's the number two extrinsic motivator you have towards your success journey. It could be your role models whom you're following as a mentor in life. So authorities and parents, they play important motivational factor for you at some stage of your life. Then the third motivational external motivator is your family. If you have a team of employees to manage in your company as a leader or as an entrepreneur, the best perk you could give to an employee or a human being would be to do benefits for their children. That's the best external motivation you could give to them. At the individual level, it's like inbuilt in the DNA of each one of us. And we do not have any hit and trial method here. We are at default programmed to do anything for our children and children. The children, the family, that becomes the third extrinsic external motivator for any human being. So, if you are to raise a satisfied team for your business, you should create a perk around it as children benefit or for great vacations during the year for them or schooling educational support from the company. And you will see that the output of the company, of the employee, is multifolded. The fourth external motivator is the recognition from the world, from the society. This motivator benefits the human race and do good for the people and do the philanthropy. When you have lots of achievements, lots of success, lots of money, and you would like to get the recognition beyond your family out from the world. The biggest example of this would be if we were to take from the leading industrial age American Legion, Andrew Carnegie. He is considered to be the father of philanthropy in the modern world. In his drawer, there was a paper found when he was at the peak of his success. And on paper, he had written with his own hands that I'm going to give first half of my life in earning and accumulating wealth. And the second half of my life, I would distribute it, that wealth which I've accumulated and which he subsequently did. This is the man we are talking of who has created the Industrial Revolution in America and subsequently got spread out to the whole of the world. He created the famous Carnegie Hall in New York, and you have the famous Carnegie universities and foundations all around the world, distributed all his wealth in different ways and channels for the betterment of the people, of the society as a whole. For the human benefits, in terms of it, was somewhere around 350 million to 400 million US dollars after his death, which, if today, would be about 5 to 6 billion US dollars. He created the wave of philanthropy. The recognition by the outer world was the biggest motivator for him to achieve and succeed. Following his footsteps, today you have the great philanthropists like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. You have had the global level some great Indian, British, and European philanthropists. Carnegie, at the time when it all started, the wave of philanthropy in the universe, in the world. What is interesting is that all these four motivators by themselves. The first is your recognition by your peers. The second one is your recognition by your mentors and your authorities in your life. Third is recognition by the family. And the fourth one comes is the public recognition, the recognition from the outer world, from the society, and that's far more than your family. This recognition is much more higher than your family. It's for the world, for the humanity, the bigger causes, the hospitals, the schools, and the list goes on and on and on. These four factors, they are equally important for any entrepreneur, any leader, and for any individual to keep it in mind. Our belief that any type of motivation is within us, it has to, it has got to be, since it is a motivation for us, it has to be something to be within us. That's how we believe. But ironically, this is not the case. And they are directly related to the extrinsic other people in the world around us. This could be the great knowledge base today for all of us, whether entrepreneurs, leaders, individuals at every level, to understand these external motivators, which play an important role in our growth and which ignite within us that ambition to get the success in life and to get more in life.